What is up, pop people? This is Austin again today, and I'm going to be bringing you another super quick tutorial on how to make an 808. So I get a lot of questions. How do you tune your 808s to your track? How do you set your release for your 808s to go off at the right time and end at the right time? And to all of that, I just say don't use 808 samples. They are far more complicated than it is to just go ahead and program your own 808, and then you have complete customization of it. So let's go ahead and hop into Serum. You can do this in any kind of soft synth. Of course, I'm using Serum because, as y'all know on Make Pop Music, that is what we're primarily using because that is what our audience tells us. So if y'all ever want to see any more tutorials and anything else, just let us know, and if we start getting enough, we'll definitely dive into some other synths. But before I ramble too much, let's go ahead and get to this 808. So I've got Serum open, and it is just an init preset right now. Sounds garbage. So the first thing about making an 808 that you'll want to notice is the sound of it. Basically, to achieve that sound, you're either going to want like a sine wave or like a triangle wave, so something pretty smooth, nothing like a saw or a square or anything like that. So let's go ahead, and one of the ones that I really like using for 808s is this FFT add seconds, and it kind of gives you a cool harmonic. So okay, so what you're going to want to do is hit that just a little bit, hit that wavetable position, because this thing gets crazy. But if you hit it like right here, it's got like a really, really cool harmonic. Yeah, like right there. Sick. So we've got that cool sound. And then the next thing that you're going to want to do is, depending on how long you want your 808, go ahead and set up this attack and just set up your ADSR envelopes, basically, so you can have it long, you can have it short, you can have it continue and not really fade, you can have it fade all the way down. If you want, you can even put a release on it. However, I don't ever really put a release on it, just because if you go into a different note directly after, it starts getting super muddy, and then you'll start getting like phase issues, and it'll start wobbling all over the place. So just my 2 cents, I wouldn't use the release for 808s in my opinion. So that sounds cool, but we're not really getting that attack. So what you're going to want to do is go to envelope 2, set that as a super, super sharp kind of envelope right there. And you're going to go into your matrix, hit source, and you're going to go to envelope 2 is what we're doing. Go to global, go to master tuning, and bump this up just a little bit. So that makes a kick drum. So right around here is normally pretty cool. So you hear that clicking that we're getting? Go ahead and slide this up like 1 or 2. Cool. If you ever get like a click or a pop at the end of your sound, just raise that release enough to where it's not cutting off super, super hard, and that should get rid of that. So this is a pretty good start. Let's see. I don't want that so high. Let's make this a little bit longer. Cool. So now we've kind of got a basic kick drum setup, and we've got a basic bass setup. And let's go ahead and talk about some of the things that you can do to change it. So like I said, I really like this wavetable for 808s. Another one that I go to pretty commonly is this analog BD sine, because it's a sine wave, and then as you morph the wavetable position, it'll create harmonics. So that's kind of a cool like crushed up bass sound if you're wanting like some like 808 Mafia type. And what I'll do sometimes is I will also link this envelope 2 that's got that super hard attack. That way it starts off pretty distorted and then it goes to less distorted. Or you can even reverse it. It all just depends on what your track needs. Cool, I kind of like that. And then a lot of the time with distortion, we will add some, with 808s is we'll add some distortion or some saturation depending on what you're going for. That's way too much. Something like that though adds some really, really nice harmonics. That way maybe somebody on some smaller speakers might be able to hear the bass if that's, you know, one of the only things going. Another thing I like using is I like using the downsample on 808. And you just barely mix it in, but in the track it kind of gives it like a nice little pop. And then of course you can, you know, set a compressor, slow attack, fast release. Multiband's not really gonna do it for you on this. So that's a really, really basic 808. Let's go ahead and we can take that off and just kind of show you. So this is just one really, really easy way to kind of go in and make 808s. And like I said, this makes it completely customizable, so you can just play it. So whenever your kick drum hits, you can kind of just trigger it with your finger. And then you can go into this and you can sidechain it to your actual kick drum. That way you're not taking up a lot of low-end space. And I advise if you're stacking this over another kick drum, might even be able to skip out on this part, on the tuning part where it creates the kick drum, and just have like a kind of like a softer, that way you're not taking up so much like transient space with this kick instead of, you know, like your main kick drum in the track. So those are just some basic things to do. Another thing that you might want to try to do is you could like duplicate the track. So like let's just, I don't know, play. So we went ahead and duplicated it. So basically what I'm going to do now is we are going to open this up. We're going to filter out all of those lows because all we want is the highs, and then we're just going to saturate the highs. And then you can just kind of mess with the EQ. And then blend it in. And that'll give you a really, really nice harmonic. So it'll kind of pop out in the song and not get super, super lost. You can barely hear it, but when it's not there, it makes a huge, huge difference. So take these little tips and tricks and go make your own 808s. There's going to be 10 free 808s that are going to be in the description that I'll provide. It'll be everything from like quick, smooth 808s to really, really dirty, like weekend style 808s. But definitely use some of these tips. Let me know if this was helpful for you at all. And I hope that now you will not be burdened by 808 samples that are either not in the right key or they're not in the right tempo, and hopefully this will help you make better tracks. So this is it for now, and I will see you guys next time. Much love. Peace out.